Right, today's video is going to be about the bow that I'm using, the Black Hunter bow. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, and I'm also going to speak to you about the current situation with Keir Starmer threatening that all British people won't be allowed to work unless they accept this new digital ID of his. What will that actually mean to us as British citizens? That's what this video is about, so stay tuned. Right, so following on from my last video, I've had so much interest in the bow, I thought I'd show you exactly what it is. Right, so we have a Black Hunter. It's a fairly cheap bow. It's got a sight fitted to this. I've fitted the sight myself, and it's got a quiver. This is a recurve bow. It's a laminate riser, and you shoot straight off the shelf here. So what that means is you place your arrow on the shelf and shoot straight off that. So I sometimes shoot it without the sight on it, and I've got a quiver fitted to that, and I do have a number of broadheads, as you can see here, which I don't use for targets. For targets you just want a real simple point so you can pull them out. The arrows, they're feather fletched and they're carbon fibre. The arrows work out to be about £7 a piece, so reasonably expensive, but not expensive as in arrow terms. You can end up spending quite a lot of money on arrows. You can see there I do actually own a quiver, which is where I use the arrows that I shoot for targeting. So these here would mainly be used just for hunting. Not that I hunt, because it's illegal in the UK to hunt with a bow. The overall length of the bow is 59 inches, I believe. It's a very comfortable riser. Fits the hand really nice. Got a really nice design to it, and it's reasonably cheap. The reason I've gone with this bow is because it's reasonably cheap. I think I paid about £130 for this. So yeah, you get a lot for your money. Does it shoot okay? It's a £50 pull, by the way. I wouldn't recommend getting a £50 pull for your first, because it's a little bit heavy. I'd probably go with about 35 to 45, maybe £40 is about average, I guess. £40 should be enough for hunting, general hunting use. So yeah, that's my bow, and the reason I bought this is because of it's reasonably cheap. I wanted to get into archery at a reasonable price. I didn't want to spend a fortune, and at 130, I think it's 130, 150 pound now on eBay. Have a look, Black Hunter. It goes under another name as well, called Mandarin Duck, I believe. That they were the original producers of this bow, and it comes in a variety of colours. Yeah, overall it's quite a nice bow, and the reason I went with this design of bow, which is called a bear bow, by the way, is because it's so simple. It's almost indestructible. You can restring it yourself out in the field. You can take it apart and put it into a bag, carry it with you in a rucksack, so it all comes apart quite easily. And that's the main reason I've gone with something like this rather than a expensive compound bow, which needs to be serviced at a shop mainly, or you need some sort of level of skill to service it yourself. This, you could just do it all yourself, and it's really easy to set up and use. So yeah, that's the bow that I'm using at the moment. You will need some kind of finger protection, because the string really does make your fingers sore after a while. So this is a three-fingered glove. This is what I prefer. You can get tabs and other systems to use, but this is what I prefer, as it stays in place, and yeah, it does the job okay. Another item I'd highly recommend getting is an arrow puller. Even though you're shooting into soft targets, getting the arrows out, especially if you've got a £50 pull bow, can really take a lot of effort. Yeah, and that's my bow. You've got to admit, it's a lovely looking colour and design. These, by the way, are string silencers. These help to keep it a little bit more silent, along with the fluffy Velcro bits at the top here on each end. So that's it basically. Came across these nice parasols here, but I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to leave them to open so that they can respawn for another time. If I come back another day, I might pick some of those. Right, before I get started, don't forget to leave a comment below on your thoughts on this new digital ID that is being forced upon us. The new digital ID that's being forced upon us by Keir Starmer. We won't work unless we have this new digital ID that no one seems to want. Why aren't they spending the money on the NHS service? Why aren't they spending the money on housing? Why aren't they putting our funds to better use rather than some airball idea that they are going to have better control over its people if they spy on us? Having control over social media, shutting people down, shutting people like me up is none of the government's business really. We should all have free speech to make whatever video we want and say what we want online. To a reasonable degree, that is. Right, so what is it going to mean to us if we accept this digital ID? It's brought in under the disguise that it's going to stop illegal immigrants from working in Britain. The illegal immigrants that the government are allowing to come into the country and have no control over. So, will it actually stop them from working? Because they're working at the moment. And why are they working at the moment? Because they would have no national insurance, they would have no driving licence, they'll have no passport. So how are they working at the moment? And how will a new digital ID prevent them from working? Well, it's just simply not going to, is it? If they can work at the moment, companies are going to employ them and pay them cash in hand. There's nothing to stop these people from working. So the idea that an ID card that we'll all be forced to own is complete utter nonsense. For a start, if we are all forced into this digital ID, we're all going to have mobile phones, smartphones, and a lot of people still don't have smartphones, believe it or not. Either that, or we're going to have a computer system with our ID on, a laptop or something. So you're now being forced into taking out a contract with a mobile phone company to have a smartphone. That ain't going to go down too well with a lot of people. The next thing is, what can they do if they do bring in this forced on ID system of theirs? They'll have control over your bank account. They can stop you buying whatever they want you, they can stop you spending your money basically. Wherever they want to stop you spending it, they can shut you down. They can turn your bank account on and off as and when they please. So if they want to take money for their TV licence, it'll all be connected to their smart ID card and they'll take their money for their TV licence. They will stop you buying alcohol, cigarettes, anything that you choose to buy. If you're too fat, your doctor signs you off as being too fat, overweight. You could be prevented from buying Coca-Cola, cakes, biscuits. Now, it's all becoming a little bit too far-fetched, this is way over the top, and it's a breach of people's civil liberties and their rights. I mean, you're encroaching on people's lives here, and you don't need to have so much control over what people want to do with their lives. So I can tell you right now, I'm not taking on this bollocks ID card. You can shove that right where it belongs. And I think a lot of you guys will be saying the same thing. Now, some of you might think it's a good idea that everything's all on your mobile phone, all at hand, but you're giving the current government, or whichever government comes in the future, total control over everything that you do. You'll be telling them where you are, how long you've been there, how much money you've got in your bank, how much you've earned this month, how much you've spent and what you've bought. So everything will be linked to this ID and their computer system. It'll be a complete tracking of your every move. Now, there's only so much control a government needs of your life. In fact, they don't need any control over it, really, do they? Don't forget to leave a comment below on your thoughts on this new digital ID that is being forced upon us. Tell me what you think. Are you going to agree to it? Disagree?